WhiteMan!
They look a lot better in this tournament than they looked at the Animajor, and they did very well at the Animajor. These boys are looking scary. This is one of those lineups that I think we talk about for perhaps the online performance is slightly better than the pressured kind of environment performance. But then again, Quincy Crew is the same. Like, this is a team that did really well in the NADPC, and then in the Animajor, they did okay, but I think even they expected more from themselves out of that, and I think a lot of North American fans did as well.
Yeah, and we got to speak to WhiteMan from T1. Let's see what he had to say.
Hi guys, I'm WhiteMan.
I believe him. WhiteMan's a sweet boy, but nearly every Southeast Asian player I've ever spoken to, their number one complaint about international travel is always the food. No one nails Southeast Asian food anywhere in the world unless you're there.
Yeah, and I guess he also misses eating the breadsticks, eating the chocolate caramels that he's been munching on for the set throughout the first and second season. Every single time you see this player on camera, he's always eating something.
Dude, that was the go-to thing for WhiteMan, because we had webcams during the DPC, and WhiteMan was just...
He did say that he wanted to stop feeding, so maybe that's what he was referring to.
Will he be able to stop feeding against Quincy Crew? Because he said that they were prepared for it. They said that their laning is strong, but they actually scrimmed them, which I was actually not expecting. I guess maybe because they're both in Europe right now, it might be an opportunity, or maybe they feel that they're on similar skill levels.
Something that the Southeast Asian teams did throughout the first and second season. They didn't play any of the Southeast Asian teams and scrim them until they played them in the DPC, so I'm very surprised that they decided to scrim against Quincy.
Yeah, it's a change of pace for them, although I guess Southeast Asia is taking advantage of all the cross-regional scrims that they get their hands on, because they were also scrimming Chinese teams during the Southeast Asian DPC. But what has Quinn of Quincy Crew been up to?
Quincy Crew playing so aggressively while Spectre and working to their favor.
I think our heroes are to play with. We have to execute really well, and we didn't play quite well enough. Just a bit off first game of the day memes or something. So it just gets like a bit hard eventually. The execution is really high, and we just didn't play well enough to win the game. I don't think we were worried, or I wasn't at least. I think it's just one game at a time, right? And I think we felt that game was annoying, and if we just got we just get some slightly different heroes the next game, or we're a bit more comfortable, just play a bit better, we'll win. We just needed to clean it up a little bit, so I don't think, I didn't feel that at all. I think it's difficult to prepare for, gameplay, because you play according to your heroes and such, so it's not you shouldn't have, a pattern or anything, you should just play according to your heroes. as far as drafts go, yeah, anybody can look at Dota buff and stuff, so I don't think they particularly had an advantage.
See, they will put Nixon for sure.
In an unfortunate manner, I think we
grudge match. You love to see it. I actually enjoy how all these interviews are done like literally the night before, which usually you'd think like, oh god, I gotta cram, but like we get the most fresh insight.
It's true.
So I wanna know what's going on, and I wanna know, what's going on with the DHL leaderboards right now? Are you on top? I hope you are, because it's already day number 3, and you better be getting ready for some exclamation point DHL drop. If this is your first time tuning in, if you're just an enthusiast of the Animator and you wanted to see the rematch, well, let me explain to you what's about to happen.
Do you think you know everything?
Ready, I want you to type in exclamation point DHL drop into your chat right now and then a space. And then you're going to type one of these letters depending on what the question is. What is the cooldown of the scan ability in seconds? Is it 150? A. Is it 180? B. Is it 210? C. Or is it 240? D. Enter your answers now.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I use this by accident. I have a bound to alt something, and I hold alt to see towers, and then I use this thing.
I know, but I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone. I think
you said that last time, and then you were
I
wrong.
was incorrect. Yeah, because it was a Grimstroke, and I thought that was Arcorden. But in this one, I'm
Wait,
100% sure that I know the answer. And I'm pretty sure the chat also knows.
Oh, of course.
They're always smart.
They're gonna have to wait though, because we're actually already into the draft. We're gonna go to a quick break, and when we return, you'll get your answer after. Oh wait, no, never mind. I lied. Well, let's go to the draft right now. Right now, no break. I need the draft.
What do we do? There's usually breaks right now.
It's time to
What
panic.
do we
Just
do?
kidding. We're gonna go to the draft. You'll get your answer after that. You can still type in exclamation point DHL drop A, B, C, D. You have the different answers, but yeah. Is the draft ready, or is it about to be ready? Oh, it's ready. Are you ready?
I don't trust Lacoste when he says he knows.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
it's fully. Wow, that is
You mean ready? Like ready to play some Dota?
Like, put me in, coach. Okay, we got a draft going on right now, gentlemen. Quincy Crew versus T1. Game
Beautiful.
number 1. Quincy Crew banning out Enchantress and Viper, picking up Axe Phoenix. T1 banning out Broodmother, Invoker, Darkseer, picking up Lion, Terrorblade.
Invoker ban. That is surprising. Quincy Crew doesn't really pick that hero that much, and I would imagine that's some sort of scrim insight there. So it's interesting to see that maybe Quinn has been practicing the old Invoker.
I think he got cooled off on Void Spirit, and so he's trying to find a new signature. They were picking Viper all the time during NA DPC, right? But that always gets first phase banned. This time they're first phase banning it.
Yeah, they picked Viper against. Who did they play against? Tundra. Yeah, three game series.
3 games in a
all
row.
3 games they picked Viper, and they'll also like one thing I noticed is they usually tend to last pick during the major. At least they tend to pick last pick hero for Quinn.
Yeah.
And this time around they're either first phasing it because he was playing Viper, like they also Ember or Void Spirit in the first phase or the second phase, so they're not keeping it for the last pick. So we can see a bit of a switcheroo coming out to the way they're drafting.
It's interesting because during the first season of NA DPC, we had the critique of Quincy Crew. Okay, these guys are going to go international, and they always first phase Quinn's hero. They were so heavily reliant on him being like Void Spirit or Ember Spirit every single game. and then they swapped it back, so they started last picking, and now they're kind of back to like, we don't know what Quincy Crew is doing. So it is good to see them keeping things fresh. But on the other side, T1 has an opportunity to pick up the Winter Wyvern, which they've heavily relied on. WhiteMan, his positioning, I mean, I think he's been the best Winter Wyvern so far that I've seen, at least in this tournament.
Yeah, some clutch saves coming out from him. The positioning in the series against Viking, they were top-notch. And I feel T1 is one of the few teams here that are playing the meta heroes. They're like, they didn't change their style. They're picking what they've been picking throughout the whole major, and they played decent amount of games. And here the same thing. They just pick the strong heroes. They pick the strong lanes. So support duo can play even if you're playing from behind, the support duo can always do stuff on the map. They never play these position 4 and 5 passive heroes. There was one game, I believe it was Warlock plus Wyvern, if I'm not mistaken, or Warlock plus a Phoenix, where they couldn't really do too much, but then you can still salvage the draft with a hero like a Dragon Knight or an Axe that has a low cooldown initiation tool.
I love that T1 picked the Lion. I think this team, to me, is just one of the greatest teams in the world at selecting fights. They'll do this thing where they kind of linger on the side of fights, and they only go in when they see a really good opportunity, and they're really good at deciding when that is. And Lion is the best hero for doing that. You just wait until you see the right jump. You jump them, you kill them. All of these heals and holy lockets that come out, they don't do anything against the Lion burst. So I feel like that fits perfectly into the T1 style.
Now, I know you're known to peruse the old pro tracker from time to time, Jenkins. Tell me, has Yawar been playing any Axe recently? Or is this a Leslau Axe?
I have no idea. I've not looked at his. I would imagine, just knowing Yawar, it's going to take him a while to get to learn these heroes like Axe.
That's what I would think, but we saw ILTW whip it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's true. And Yawar does play these like Nature's Prophets and Latrax. That's always kind of been in his forte, because he was a mid player before, and so he can play these heroes. But Axe is much more of like an off-lane style hero, even when you're playing it as a carry. So it is something new, and I think a lot of these teams are, to a large degree, using this as like a practice grounds for TI, which doesn't mean they're not trying to win. That's an insane thing to argue. I think it's that they're trying out strategies. They're trying to play their absolute best right now, and so I could see them picking Axe for him just to see, okay, can we pick this at the International?
Hoodwink, one more time. It feels like Hoodwink stocks are on the rise.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. It didn't look too good in the previous series.
It's all stocks are on the rise. It looked terrible.
No.
There's always dips. There's always dips.
The was pretty high. It was like 87%, I believe. Lost only one game. And this time around, you have a break mechanic against the Timber Saw. You have ways of setting things up with either Pot Coil or Axe Call, which is going to be nice. So you have like a guaranteed spot where they're going to be standing. Puck into Lion, like it can go both ways. Whoever gets a better initiation. We've seen Pucks getting third item Eon Disc. It's always pretty much the same item build. Witchblade into Blink Dagger, into Eon Disc, just to be able to protect themselves. And they go with the Dragon Knight, something that T1, I mentioned, like they always pick the heroes that are meta, that are strong. These were their openers. Either Lion plus a DK, DK plus Terrorblade, even very similar style to what EG has been doing throughout the major. And these are their comfort heroes. So T1, like they know what they're doing.
This seems to me like a really insane Phoenix game. You have really good combos. You have 3 heroes that can protect the egg. And then you have 3 heroes on the enemy team that all don't like taking that Sunray damage. Terrorblade, you can chew through his illusions. Timbersaw, you can kill him through his armor. Dragon Knight, exact same thing. So if I'm T1...
Spirit Vessel Carrier as well. Timber, Dragon Knight, even
TB to some degree, yeah.
He gets tanky.
If I'm T1, I want to pick some hero to deal with this egg, because Phoenix is a problem right now, and I think just something that can solve it.
Something that they've been picking is the Snapfire. Snapfire Lion was their go-to combo during the Season 2. Very effective, so gives them more like team fight potential. You can find Hoodwink in the trees. Let's see what they decide to ban out.
That sounds amazing. You have the DK setup stun as well. Even totally disregarding the egg, DK plus Snap is one of these like classic, well, I say classic, like month-old combos, because you just have insane damage for the DK stun, and Snapfire needs that setup.
Yeah, generally Carl's hero pool has usually been as we mentioned during the Animator, off-laners that are played in the mid lane, like Sand Kings, Magnuses, Dooms, DKs.
I love that.
Yeah, but in this game, it's not really going to work out that much because, like you said, we need an egg hitter, and it may be DK mid, and so they may just opt to get. Well, actually, no, it has to be DK.
It's DK.
Yeah, so
I think it's Snapfire or Warlock for T1, where they can like split the fight, have a counter initiation tool, and secure a lane for TB, or the Snapfire that we mentioned.
Snap just seems
egg
too
hitter.
insane. Let's see.
Cuckoo stinking.
mulling it over.
They've got plenty of reserve time.
Because Zephyr and WhiteMan both have played Lion, so they can flex it a little bit.
Yeah, they have a minute and a half of reserve time, so they can really think about this pick because Quincy has last pick, so you know there's considerations to be made. Are there any like real toxic cheese heroes left in the pool?
Position 5 Oracle is also good, like especially against Axe plus Phoenix. So you have a Dispel mechanic, and TB plus Oracle has always been a pretty strong combo. You can nullify the
Enjoy how all these interviews are done like literally the night before, which usually you'd think like, oh god, I gotta cram, but like we get the most fresh insight. It's true. So I wanna know what's going on, and I wanna know, what's going on with the DHL leaderboards right now? Are you on top? I hope you are, because it's already day number 3, and you better be getting ready for some exclamation point DHL drop. If this is your first time tuning in, if you're just an enthusiast of the Animator and you wanted to see the rematch, well, let me explain to you what's about to happen.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Speed's the name of the game, so get ready. I want you to type in exclamation point DHL drop into your chat right now, and then a space. And then you're going to type one of these letters, depending on what the question is. What is the cooldown of the scan ability in seconds? Is it 150 A? Is it 180 B? Is it 210 C? Or is it 240 D? Enter your answers now.
I don't know. You don't know? I use this by accident. I have a bound to alt something, and I hold alt to see towers, and then I use this thing.
I know, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. I think...
you said that last time, and then you were wrong.
I was incorrect. Yeah, because it was a Grimstroke, and I thought it was Arcorden, but in this one, I'm 100% sure that I know the answer. And I'm pretty sure the chat also knows.
Chat
is always smart.
They're going to have to wait, though, because we're actually already into the draft. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we return, you'll get your answer after... Oh, wait, no, never mind. I lied. Well, let's go to the draft right now. Right now. No break. I need the draft.
What do we do? It usually breaks right now.
It's time to panic. Just kidding. We're going to go to the draft. You'll get your answer after that. You can still type in exclamation point DHL drop A, B, C, D if you have the different answers, but yeah. Is the draft ready? Or is it about to be ready? Oh, it's ready. Are you ready?
I don't trust Lacoste when he says he knows.
Oh my god.
Wow, that is
you mean ready? Like ready to play some Dota?
Put me in, coach. Okay, we got a draft going on right now, gentlemen. Quincy Crew versus T1, game number 1. Quincy Crew banning out Enchantress and Viper, picking up Axe Phoenix. T1 banning out Broodmother, Invoker, Darkseer, picking up Lion, Terrorblade.
Invoker ban? That is surprising. Quincy Crew doesn't really hero that much, and I would imagine that's some sort of scrim insight there. So it's interesting to see that maybe Quinn has been practicing the old Invoker.
I think he got cooled off on Void Spirit, and so he's trying to find a new signature. They were picking Viper all the time during NA DPC, right? But that always gets first phase banned. This time they're first phase banning it.
Yeah, they picked Viper against... what did they play against? Tundra. Yeah, three game series.
3 games
all 3 games they picked Viper, and they'll also, like, one thing I noticed is they usually tend to last pick during the major, at least they tend to pick last pick hero for Quinn.
Yeah, and
this time around they're either first phasing it because he was playing Viper, like they also Ember or Void Spirit in the first phase or the second phase, so they're not keeping it for the last pick, so we can see a bit of a switcheroo coming out to the way they're drafting.
It's interesting because during the first season of NA DPC, we had the critique of Quincy Crew. Okay, these guys are going to go international, and they always first face Quinn's hero. They were so heavily reliant on him being like Void Spirit or Ember Spirit every single game, and then they swapped it back, so they started last picking, and now they're kind of back to like, we don't know what Quincy Crew is doing. So it is good to see them keeping things fresh. But on the other side, T1 has an opportunity to pick up the Winter Wyvern, which they've heavily relied on. WhiteMan, his positioning, I mean, I think he's been the best Winter Wyvern so far that I've seen, at least in this tournament.
Yeah, some clutch saves coming out from him. The positioning in the series against Viking, they were top-notch. And I feel T1 is one of the few teams here that are playing the meta heroes. They're like, they didn't change their style. They're picking what they've been picking throughout the whole major, and they played decent amount of games. And here the same thing. They just pick the strong heroes. They pick the strong lanes. So support duo can play even if you're playing from behind, the support duo can always do stuff on the map. They never play these position 4 and 5 passive heroes. There was one game, I believe it was Warlock plus Wyvern, if I'm not mistaken, or Warlock plus a Phoenix, where they couldn't really do too much, but then you can still salvage the draft with a hero like a Dragon Knight or an Axe that has a low cooldown initiation tool.
I love that T1 picked the Lion. I think this team, to me, is just one of the greatest teams in the world at selecting fights. They'll do this thing where they kind of linger on the side of fights, and they only go in when they see a really good opportunity, and they're really good at deciding when that is. And Lion is the best hero for doing that. You just wait until you see the right jump, you jump them, you kill them. All of these heals and holy lockets that come out, they don't do anything against the Lion burst. So I feel like that fits perfectly into the T1 style.
Now, I know you're known to peruse the old pro tracker from time to time, Jenkins. Tell me, has Yawar been playing any Axe recently? Or is this a Leslo Axe?
I have no idea. I've not looked at his. I would imagine just knowing Yawar, it's going to take him a while to get to learn these heroes like Axe.
That's what I would think, but we saw ILTW whip it out pretty...
Sure. That's true, and Yawar does play. He does play these like Nature's Prophets and Latrax. That's always kind of been in his forte because he was a mid player before, and so he can play these heroes. But Axe is much more of like an off-lane style hero, even when you're playing it as a carry. So it is something new, and I think a lot of these teams are, to a large degree, using this as like a practice grounds for TI, which doesn't mean they're not trying to win. That's an insane thing to argue. I think it's that they're trying out strategies. They're trying to play their absolute best right now. And so I could see them picking Axe for him just to see, okay, can we pick this at the International?
Hoodwink, one more time. It feels like Hoodwink stonks are on the rise.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. It didn't look too good in the previous series.
It's all stocks are on the rise. It looked terrible.
No, there's always dips. There's always dips. Sure. Was pretty high. It was like 87%, I believe. Lost only one game. And this time around, you have a break mechanic against the Timbersaw. You have ways of setting things up with either Puck Coil or Axe Call, which is going to be nice. So you have like a guaranteed spot where they're going to be standing. Puck into Lion, like it can go both ways, whoever gets a better initiation. We've seen Pucks getting third item Eon Disc. It's always pretty much the same item build. Witchblade into Blink Dagger, into Eon Disc just to be able to protect themselves, and they go with the Dragon Knight, something that T1, I mentioned, like they always pick the heroes that are meta, that are strong. These were their openers, either Lion plus a DK, DK plus Terrorblade, even very similar style to what EG has been doing throughout the major, and these are their comfort heroes. So T1, like they know what they're doing.
This seems to me like a really insane Phoenix game. You have really good combos. You have 3 heroes that can protect the egg, and then you have 3 heroes on the enemy team that all don't like taking that Sunray damage. Terrorblade, you can chew through his illusions. Timbersaw, you can kill him through his armor. Dragon Knight, exact same thing. So if I'm T1,
Vessel Carrier as well, Timber, Dragon Knight, like
even TV to some degree,
yeah, he gets tanky.
If I'm T1, I want to pick some hero to deal with this egg because Phoenix is a problem right now, and I think just something that can solve it.
That they've been picking is the Snapfire. Snapfire Lion was their go-to combo during the season 2. Very effective, so gives them more like team fight potential. You can find Hoodwink in the trees. Let's see what they decide to ban out.
That sounds amazing. You have the DK setup stun as well. Even totally disregarding the egg, DK plus Snap is one of these like classic, well I say classic, like month-old combos because you just have insane damage for the DK stun, and Snapfire needs that setup.
10 seconds
generally
remaining.
Carl's hero pool has usually been as we mentioned during the animator, off
5
laners
seconds
that are played
remaining.
in the mid lane, like Sand Kings, Magnuses, Dooms, DKs.
I love that.
Yeah, but in this game, it's not really going to work out that much because, like you said, we need an egg hitter, and it may be DK mid, and so they may just opt to get. Well, actually, no, it has to be DK.
It has.
mid.
It's DK.
Yeah, so
I think it's Snapfire or Warlock for T1, where they can like split the fight, have a counter initiation tool, and secure a lane for TB, or the Snapfire that we mentioned.
Snap just seems too insane.
10
see.
seconds
Cuckoo's stinking.
remaining.
He's mulling it over.
They've got plenty of reserve time.
Because Zephyr and
5 seconds
WhiteMan both have
remaining.
played Lion, so they can flex it a little bit.
Yeah, they have a minute and a half of reserve time, so they can really think about this pick because Quincy has last pick, so you know there's considerations to be made. Are there any like real toxic cheese heroes left in the pool?
Position 5 Oracle is also good, like especially against Axe plus Phoenix. So you have a dispel mechanic, and TB plus Oracle has always been a pretty strong combo. You can nullify the damage coming out from Puck, even Hoodwink. So that's also one of the heroes that they should consider.
That's true. Like, because I do think when you have TB versus some Axe Phoenix, you are really concerned about the lane because these heroes do a crap load of magic damage, and TB has the lowest HP in the game.
Zephyr did also play some Mirana earlier in this tournament. Another.
Yeah, they could run the five line.
I think in this case you need to like either pair
Radiant
line up with
team
TB in lane or just get a like.
Okay, they do go for it.
Okay, so yeah, the initial thought egg hitter for Quincy Crew, they lack possibly an offlaner or a
carrier?
safe
It's
laner,
hard to
but
say with the Axe,
I feel
yeah.
this is gonna be a safe
Yawar
laner.
has actually not played Axe in
seconds
pubs, so it would
remaining.
be a debut for him.
It would be just scrims, which I could see that happening.
For sure.
I know you are. I met him in the elevator at the animator, and he was complaining about the pubs. So maybe he just stopped pubbing so much and mostly just focusing on scrims. I could see that. But Lelis is a phenomenal Axe, so he's very good at this here. I could see him just taking it. Comfort. Oh, there's Jack.
Jack is there. Always nice to see my friend Jack in the background, not contributing much with the word, but he's there. He's there. Yeah, exactly.
Select your
Morphling.
heroes.
Okay. Yawar, I mean, this is probably Yawar's best hero, the Morphling. This is what when Sumail and Yawar came into the NAC, and it was like all about Sumail Storm and Yawar Morphling.
A lot of magic damage against these high armor heroes of Terrorblade, Timbersaw, and DK, so I can see the shotgun potential.
Yeah, good against the TB in the game, too. The only thing with the TB versus Morphling matchup is TB farms so quickly.
Yeah. I think in this game we will find out who has the real shotgun. Is it the Morphling? Is it the Snapfire? Real questions being asked.
Yeah, that's it for sure. I thought you were going to continue with that, but no, that's it.
That's it. That's all I got.
Let's see.
To be more serious, I like T1's draft. This Morphling,
seconds
they
remaining.
have enough burst damage. They have the lockdown. Also, Timbersaw
5
should have a
seconds
relatively free lane. It's going to be, again, a Hoodwink, so it doesn't really do too much, as we've seen in the previous series. So, yeah, I'd say this is, in terms of numbers, 60-40 for T1.
I don't care about those numbers, Lacoste. I care about the cooldown of scan. No, I didn't forget about you. You remember that DHL drop? Which one was it? Was it 150, 180, 210, 240?
Can we guess
production? Yeah, what's your guess, Jenkins?
240.
You are correct.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey.
Just kidding. You got baited. How do you not know? You're an analyst on the
He's
panel.
never right. He's never right.
I'm just trolling.
We were going to a restaurant yesterday, and he's like, I remember a bridge. There's 60 bridges. This country's filled with bridges.
I remember a bridge.
And we didn't cross one.
Did
But he
we find
remembers
the
that.
place, or did we
We
not?
did, but it was total
There you
luck.
go.
It was completely luck. Do not trust this man.
210 seconds, exclamation point, DHL drop C. If you are correct, be sure to visit the URL, see where you are on the leaderboard. Now, I don't trust you on cooldowns, but I trust you on predictions. Jenkins, which team you going for?
I'm gonna go with T1. I think the DK makes their draft really easy to play.
Lacoste?
Same. 60-40, in my opinion, for
60-40.
T1. There we go.
64 is your number. Jenkins going 1-17 is his number. And I want to know 2,000, specifically AI and Suns fan with the cast.
Thank you, gentlemen. I would just like to say that Jenkins has no idea what he's talking about. Lacoste and I knew exactly where we were going the entire time. He just has no faith in human beings because he is, in fact, not one. Suns fan here with AUI 2000. Greetings. Hello. Hi. Welcome, Curtis, to this beautiful cast. This is a best of 3 between Quincy Crew and T1, a rematch of the Animajor. A lot of Quincy Crew fans, myself included, AUI, thought that they should have won that game 3. They were up by a decent margin,
I think,
and then lost.
honestly, I think T1 thought Quincy Crew was going to win that game 3, but they managed to claw it back as they do with so many games.
Yeah, T1
I mean, there's like
has been
supposed
really
to win and there's actually winning, right? If you can't close it out, then that's it.
LOA,
Oh, he took
he is dead. First blood T1, just right on cue, praising Quincy Crew, and T1 gets it.
That's such a casual death, though, you know? He just sort of walked in there.
I feel like that's SVG's classic, though. Usually it's on the Abaddon, so he doesn't really care.
Yeah, but usually not like this early, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I didn't know that. When you
yeah.
respawn, you keep your fire spirits, because usually your respawn time's long, right? It's level 1. So you actually had 2 fire spirits respawn time. Completely worthless info, but
That's a cool trivia
I guess
question.
if you buy back, then it probably still has it. You can TP in a fight with them still up.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Doesn't matter at all.
I mean,
My favorite part of Dota.
you're saying that ironically, I think, but that actually is my favorite part of Dota, is that these little like intricacies that make no sense sometimes.
No, that is my favorite part of Dota.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. Yeah, very, very cool. Okay, so talk about the lineups. Who do you like?
I think it depends a lot on this bot lane, but since Cuckoo got first blood, I'm gonna go with I like T1. The last time I saw this matchup was in Kazu was playing Timbersaw versus Nigma, I believe, and they 2-0'd them. He managed to kill IOTW in a matchup at level 1, and Morphling is susceptible. I also like what they're doing here. They're actually going aggro. Okay, I thought they were just blocking the way so that Timbersaw could come down here, but an aggro trialing coming out.
Yeah. Talk to me about this. Is this, will you work here? I mean, it's Phoenix position 5.
It's an aggro trialing, but he immediately lost control of the equilibrium. So that means that MSS on the Hoodwink should have to come down here very early. Phoenix and Morphling are very bad trialing here, as you can see, like they're just getting zoned out. MSS needs to TP now. Axe does out-farm Timbersaw in a 1v1, so they should just do it.
Yeah, and of course we're just casting, well, me and Lacoste were just casting a couple Hoodwink matches for Alliance. They lost both in horrendous fashion. And I know you and I watch a lot of NA Dota. MSS, he is, I'm going to call him the guy that is trying to, he's the one that's popularized this hero, I feel like. He's the first one to pick it, basically, and he's had great success with it.
Yeah, we saw even Crit picking it up from his NA brethren at the Animajor. I think he went like 7-0 in that game. Yeah. Hero looks good, but I don't know what's happening. I feel like the comms should have told MSS to come to bottom already. The camp's blocked, the lane's pushed. Your carry's getting free zoned out of the lane.
Yeah, Leslau still level 1, but this will give him level 2 at the very least. MSS probably going to be out of XP range there, but it's not an aggro try anymore for T1, as who was that? That's WhiteMan that came to the top.
Lion TV's top. I guess the idea was that they were gonna get the lane back against Timbersaw and zone him, but I don't feel like the impact is the same. No matter what you do to the Timbersaw this lane, when he gets level 3 and 5, he's still sitting in lane farming. I do not think it's the same for Morphling. Shero's heavily reliant on getting a good start. Oh, and they get the worst small camp spawn. I think they need to remove the small camp. Every other camp can like deny creeps if you sort of half pull, but this camp in particular, like even if you only pull the range creep, it won't kill the range creep. It's really dumb.
You're not a big fan of Kobold, huh?
No.
What if they give him a little bit more damage?
Yeah, I mean they can rebalance it.
Sure. I mean, it's the coolest model of all the small camps. I mean, he's holding a cup. We
can sort of compare like at top lane, WhiteMan. I mean, he does a very good connection here, but the small camp would have gotten 2 creeps into deny range, and then you look at him, and this melee creep's taken almost 100 damage, and the other one's taken 50 damage.
Yeah, that is true. We see the meta into the cookie. LOA. This might be his second death of the game. That last right click from Zephyr. As meanwhile, top lane, WhiteMan takes a tumble, so trades across the map on respective position 5s. And this is the lane we haven't really talked about. We've seen a lot of this at the Animajor, the Puck versus the Dragon Knight. Feels like for the most part, it's just, you know, the DK will survive, both will farm. Do you see it the same way?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, DK has some potential to take Puck's tower if Puck tries to rotate too much. I think we'll see Quinn steals back. Actually, no TP to take its own here though, so that's pretty good for him. I think T1, how they set up their lanes with the aggro has just been fantastic.
Always watch me walk.
This Morphling, he's just getting completely shut down, whereas I think if you lane it versus Timbersaw, usually Morphling has a pretty good lane and some timing to level 6.
Leslau's getting pretty close at the very least to getting his Ring of Health, which will allow him to sustain a bit in lane.
He opted for the boost before Ring of Health, which I think is a good aggressive choice. They used that to kill WhiteMan once, and it's already paid itself off in that. It's not like you can really sustain versus Timbersaw anyways.
Yeah, but kind of what you're talking about here, the TB 19 and 11 CS versus the counterpart in Yuar 9 and 2.
Yeah, and
so obviously not a good start.
The matchup used to be really more favored when you could ulti Terrorblade, and then you would use meta and go back into Morphling, and you would have meta while Morphling for him, and it'd be super strong. But they actually changed that, fixed it, I don't know what you want to call it, and now you can't do that. So the matchup it's pretty even now, I think. Maybe slightly more favored, but not with this start.
So why can't you do that, though? Because if you have like Little Shredder, for example, that still applies when you turn back to Morphling, right?
How that worked was before you would change back from Terrorblade into transformation time of meta, and that would make you keep it. I don't know why or how they fixed it, but they just changed it. Like a lot of Dota changes are just like that.
Yeah, for sure. And MSS pressuring WhiteMan off the lane. Will not die, but with that Battle Hunter just has to waddle his way back to the base. Yeah, tell me about the Morphling this game then. Is there anything that is this just going to be like a right-click Morphling or E-Blade Morphling, something like that, or you actually go for Ags at some point?
I don't think there's a reason for him to go to Ags.
You don't want to see the Axe with Shard? Double Axe Shard?
Oh.
I mean,
I do. Wait,
cool.
Like, I want to see that, but do I think it's good? They're different.
That's true. Well,
I really want him to go there. I want him to go Blink Manta and turn to Axe with Ags.
Yes. Well, you don't need to. You have waveform. You don't need the.
Oh, you need the blink. You need to commit.
Okay, but I'm guessing the way it works is you get shard on Morphling, and that means you get the whoever you copy shard, right?
Yes,
okay.
That is how it works. It's very good. I saw Morphling.
We see the bushwhack onto WhiteMan. The double call actually, but it's going to cost a couple lives. Quincy Crew, nice double kill there. Essentially, MSS and both Leslau each take one for themselves.
Yeah, a little bit uncoordinated from T1. I feel like their tower's not under any pressure. I don't know if they should feel like they have to deal with this Axe. I mean, he's at his strongest point. He just got his Vanguard, and they're sort of committing on him. I mean, he did have Vanguard there, but that looked very far from death.
Right. Well, now that he has it, it's going to be cutting that wave, and
because they put so many resources top, though, like, I feel Morphling is catching up now, right? Like, that feels a bit awkward. You shot down this hero really hard, and now Savage is on his own here.
Yeah, Carl's going to get the Dragon Tail. WhiteMan with the Earth Spike. And here comes the coil from Quinn, first of the game, into the Bushwhack as well. Illusory Orb is enough to take out the Lion, but not enough to take out Carl. Another good kill there for Quincy Crew.
Raindrops is a very good item, guys. Everyone buy it.
Yeah, I always forget it exists, I'm not going to lie.
Well, if you remembered, you gained 500 MMR.
500?
500 MMR. 5,000 MMR.
Okay, that's unrealistic.
50,000.
Leslie now taking out not only the wave, but some creeps as well. Cookie's going to be dodged from Quinn. Going to take the little shredder, though. Oh, it's a lot of damage. And with this haste, Zephyr secures himself the kill on the mid laner, Quinn.
That's an amazing play. One thing that I noted, when the two supports from T1 went top, something that they did that was really good, actually, was they managed to keep their wagon alive. So Axe is cutting their wave.
Oh, wow.
I missed
20 through Savage. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they left it alone to do this way, but they kept their wagon top alive, which means Cuckoo can pressure this tower a little bit. They basically traded like 700 HP on the tower, though, for Terrorblade's full lane dominance, and it ends up with Terrorblade dying. So I don't think overall everyone's dying. I'm not seeing it. I'm just bad at observing this.
That's fine. We're catching enough to understand what's going on, but the thing I'm surprised by is that Cuckoo's level 6 versus the Axe level 7. Leslau, he was behind by a full level before he took out some of those stacks along with those 2 kills. So he's having himself a great game after a bit of a rough start.
Well, they're going for the Timbersaw top here.
Yeah, Cuckoo has to worry here a bit. Fire Spirits are there. MSS looking for the Bushwhack. Actually, Cuckoo eats the tree with that Quelling Blade to try to prevent it, but oh, we're going to have a pot. What? The horse happens here, AUI. We got a 3v1 surrounding Cuckoo.
He's going to walk away.
Okay.
Because he used the Quelling Blade to cut the Acorn shot from MSS. It was very fast there.
Oh, I didn't even know that was the Acorn shot.
You said that before he did it. Because I think I don't know, he tangled or something? A tree?
No, he Quelling bladed a tree because I think he was trying to prevent the Bushwhack onto the tree. And I didn't see the second one, yeah.
Yeah, he just uses 4-second cooldown here. He shot it right as MSS was putting the Acorn shot down to stun him with Bushwhack, and I think that potentially was a kill. What tree did he?
All right, he didn't kill it. I just made it up.
He used Timber to cut it.
Yeah, I just had the premonition here.
Look at this.
That this is going to happen.
Boom! That's an intel replay right there.
That's right. That is very true. This is not an intel replay, though. This is choppity chop for Leslau. So with the rotation from Quinn, able to secure themselves. You were wrong, by the way. That's minus points on that one.
No, I have full vision, but I'm showing why we're not playing because I didn't know this puck was coming at all. And it's a very good rotation by Quinn.
Yeah.
And there's a reason we're casting, right? Like,
yes, this is true. This is true. All right, well, Quincy Crew.
Middle tower.
wait, this puck, do you see this puck's net worth?
Yeah, Quinn
Is
is
the
not having
lowest
a hot
score by
game.
far. What happened?
This is not normal for him, that's for sure.
This Dragon has 53 to 23 CS. He's just dumpstering Quinn mid.
Yeah, that's... Whew.
And Carl, his laning has been extremely impressive at the animator.
We're gonna get the waning rift here into the invis room, but Carl's still pressuring the tower.
Middle tower is
And
under
with that
attack.
minus armor from the little shredder, so it's gonna be a lot of damage applied here. And with very little resistance from Quincy Crew.
We can see though, Lelis is he just sort of dragging the creep boys into the neutral camps, which is why he's so. And he has 77 CS.
Can you stop saying Lelis? I kept calling him Lelis at the major.
What am I calling him?
Well, it's Leslau now. He changed his name, but it's just really hard for me to be on the same page.
I'm sorry,
because I'm trying to get myself off of saying Lelis.
They keep changing their names. It's very annoying.
SVG,
Top tower is under
I'm just gonna
attack.
call it
LOA. Yeah, it's just too much for me.
MSS used to be Mojo Stormstar.
But that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but I still call him Mojo.
That's fine. I mean, that's what it stands for. I think that's still technically accurate, right?
It is very hot here, sometimes.
Yeah. Leslau will be getting the Blink Dagger on the way. This is a 9-minute Vanguard Blink, my friend. That is pretty insane timing.
That might be one of the fastest we've ever seen. He's 5.3k net worth in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
For sure.
I wonder who they want to kill with it. Because DK is very tanky, and Timbersaul's hard to kill. I think their option probably wants to be 23 Savage, but you can Zephyr. He's already sort of set up here to save that terribly. They know that something's coming.
And Carl now in the jungle here. We can see some Quincy Crew members on their way up there. Leslau. Joining that Blink now. We have some TP support from Mr. Timbersaw. Actually, we'll commit to it, but Quincy Crew already out.
It's a blink reveal, but I think Quincy Crew aren't too sad with that. At least they forced out the TP. Now if they attack the bottom side of the map, Timbersaw won't be able to get there.
Yeah.
A good reaction from T1 though. Dodging a 9-minute Blink Dagger Vanguard on max is a very important.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh,
You're right.
smoke,
The targets for them to go for are kind of difficult to kill for the most part.
Yeah, I like this though. They have their timing, so they're playing around their wagons, right? They just smoke to mid. I think the book should be coming for LOA here. Gets his level 6, and now they have their full timing.
And for their opening here, Zephyr might be the target if they can see him. They'll take anything they can get at this point. And they don't see him, which is a major issue. So it looks like he will survive, and they're not going to get much out of it.
A bit of an awkward smoke. The ward was on Phoenix and not in the smoke, so they just sort of walked across the entire map into their jungle defensively and didn't find anything. However, one thing that's going for them is that does secure Morphling a lot of time to farm. He's basically caught up with Terrorblade, and when you consider their starts, like I think he's pretty happy with that.
Yeah. His 6-4 start here for Quincy Crew as we see a disconnect coming out. Yeah, who would you give the edge to based on what you've seen so far in the game? Is it tip the scales in your opinion at all, or? You're still sticking with the original?
I think it's completely based on teamfight execution. Like if Quincy Crew get a good egg, they have the spell to protect it, both the bushwhack and the call. You can see them bait a really good fight.
Right.
However, like if T1 they're able to execute, sort of split up the fight a bit. They do have better lane shove with the Parablade and the Timbersaw. I think they can end up being very strong in these fights, especially since they do have that Snapfire with the low shredded Dakota egg. I think overall I'd slightly favor T1, but I don't think it's like 51-49 type of close, you know?
Oh,
I don't.
wow. Okay.
I'm not smart enough to have any real opinion on it.
Yeah, that's pretty typical from any analyst, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's.
I'm used to working with Cinderin, so I get that all the time, obviously. Goes without saying. Yeah, MSS now level 6, and yeah, the biggest concern from Quincy Crew's side is Quinn himself and the farm. He has fallen quite behind, like you said.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
He made some
Made
good
up a little
moves to
bit of
catch
ground
up.
now, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point it looked really rough, but after that kill on the Timbersaw top,
Initiation from Leslau. We see the Fire Spirits coming with the waveform as well. Zephyr will be chopped down by Leslau. The adaptive strike, Cuckoo. I don't think that's enough damage. Oh my god, that damage. Doesn't have enough to actually finish anybody off here yet, but will likely have enough to force Quincy Crew out.
Look at Leslau. He's making this fast play to top. Instantly kills bottom. Is already TPing top to make an outplay.
Okay, Quinn. He's gonna pop that coil to start things out. Leslau looking for the initiation, but the instant Dragon Tail. Breathe fire to follow, but here comes the egg. They don't leave any lockdown to secure this. So T1's just going to casually run away. Carl TP's out successfully, but at the very least for Quincy Crew, will be a tier 1 tower. WhiteMan TP's out as well.
I don't know when those trees got
Radiant's
cut,
middle
but
tower is under attack.
whatever cut them, probably Timbersaw.
Dire's
This was
tower is under
the precognition. You know, he knew the axe was coming, he pre-clicks the stun, and it's a good gank dodge right there. They do end up getting the tower, so both sides, I think, like morally, I think you're pretty happy with it on the other side. Dire's going for the Lincolns. They do have a Dragonite Alliance, so that does make
Radiant's middle
sense.
tower is under attack.
Cuckoo's going to run into Yawar here. So Yawar trying to defend this tower.
They can get him. They have finger.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be shifted there, but it's not going to be enough. Finger of death from the shadows. WhiteMan. Nice pickup there for TP1.
Radiant's bottom
These teams have just been
tower is under
very
attack.
fast and moving around the map. We saw like some, you know, they call bottom, they're already streaming top, the line's already setting up, and DK's pre-kill, and instantly line gets to bottom after that top play. I don't know what path he took, or I didn't see if he smoked, but they do have a lane for Radiant, so I'm sort of, I don't,
Radiant's
yeah, I should have seen it, but I didn't,
attack.
fortunately.
I'll give you a little tip as an analyst. Don't admit that you didn't see something. Just make something up and people will believe you.
That's true. I have watched Mr. Kylecast. He wasn't very... free is free,
Makes
you know,
a
you
career
gotta
out of that,
take
for
those.
Sure. Yeah, Quinn
Radiant's
bouncing back a
bottom
bit here.
tower is under
He has his
attack.
Witch's Blade, he's caught up to DK and farm.
And pretty close, only 300 off.
Dire's
Well, DK has a
structures
Midas.
are
Augers?
fortified.
Really? Okay. I like
Radiant's
that.
bottom tower
We see
is
the
under attack.
MSS initiation here into nothing, just pressuring a little bit here.
Dire's
3
middle
minutes
tower
faster
is
than
under
average
attack.
on this patch, out of only 10 matches, so a little bit of a small sample size. Leslie not able to get the Berserker's call off. Now they have to be careful. T1, Cookie actually will connect onto Quinn, and here comes the Phoenix. The coil is applied, but Quinn just takes too much damage. Ball's gonna get snapped here. MSS gonna get clipped by a couple of these kisses. Let's see if T1 can clean up anybody else here. Courier trying to get him baited here, but it looks like MSS might fall as well. Oh, he gets off the sharpshooter to get a little bit of a distance there, but it's not going to be enough.
And really good play by T1 here. Just going for the mid tower when they forced all the Quincy
Radiant's
Crews.
middle
Goes
tower
back.
has fallen.
Yeah. Yeah, T1 looking really good. 2K net worth lead at 14 minutes now for them.
I saw this a lot from Miracle where he would go like 4-4-0, take the tower at 10. And I'm actually sort of glad that Quinn got punished there for that, because I don't think Puck should be allowed to do this. If he had Space Shift there, he 100% dodges that stun and lives.
Yeah, it does seem like a pretty greedy build.
Dire's
And
top
I
tower
mean, Miracle,
is
the
under
game that I
attack.
saw, it worked out for him. But then I saw it another game afterwards, and they got punished pretty hard.
Yeah,
It's one of
it's
those.
very risky, and I mean, I don't mind 4-4-0, but taking the 10 talent as well seems... Like, do you really need 25 damage? You're clearing creep waves in 2 spells anyways, sort of my idea.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit of regret there. Does have the level of phase shift now, though.
Leslaw's going for that Manta build, so he's
Hell yeah.
identified that perhaps because Yawar and Quinn have both not had that good games, they need a little bit more damage to come out. The pure damage is very good against all 3 of the cores on T1, right? They're typically very tanky, high armor heroes.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. But as we talk, the league continues to grow in favor of T1 just slightly. Cuckoo extremely tanky at this point of the game. And from Quincy Crew's perspective, are you waiting for something specific? Do you actually want to wait for the full Manta shard on Leslau?
I'm not
Like, what
too
are your
sure.
pickoff potentials here?
So they just finished their Lincolns on
Dire's
Morphling,
bottom
so that
tower
should
First
be
item Lincolns, wow.
Yeah, it's against Lion and DK, so I think it does make a bit of sense. Ooh, Lion, he's setting up on Yawar again.
Yeah, well, that's going to show that the Lincolns is there, and WhiteMan now will attempt to run away. But LOA in the vicinity, no stun, of course. Adaptive strike is then into the bushwhack. WhiteMan will fall.
Honestly, that was a really small play from Quincy Crew, but that was pretty sick synergy. Like, MSS predicted that Yawar was going to cast the push, and he aimed his bushwhack based on that push. So I don't think it was hitting on the
Dire's
TP.
middle tower is under attack.
I think Quincy Crew right now, they need to find a way to push lanes a bit further so they can see their move options. Or if they get a pick off like this, then they can pressure a tower. The Lincolns on Morphling helps with that a lot. You can push lanes further than you otherwise would have been able to.
And Quinn and company take out that tier 1 mid. But yeah, this Lincoln's pickup, that is an old school build on Morphling, I have to say.
It is.
As WhiteMan, we can see the impact move here. Double stun, essentially.
That was a big impact move.
Indeed. Man, MSS looks so good.
He does. He's worked a lot on his image, I think.
Yeah, I need
Very
to do the
sexy.
same. Take some inspiration from him. But yeah, talk more about this Lincolns, because this is super old school. This used to be like the first item you pick up on Morphling literally every game for like 5, 6, maybe even more years.
Yeah, I think from like Dota 1 days
Dota
all
1.
the way to like 2015, 2016, you would just
Yeah.
go Lincolns and Morphling. The idea was that you needed a lot of mana regen back then because attribute shift costs a lot more mana back then. With them increasing how much mana it costs, maybe that's part of what's bringing it back.
Wait, have you seen it more than this game?
Well, Lincolns?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Lincolns.
First item?
Yeah.
Really?
Against single target disable, like right now, if you look at the map, like what does he have to fear, right? It's just Lion and DK. I mean, DK went Midas. He's probably expecting him to go Blink and try to go for him. But it sort of makes sense in that sense. You saw that even though Lion procced it with the Hex into stun, like Yower still got his Morph off. So even to more kills, he would have lived. Just gives you a little bit of a window.
Yeah, even if there's a way for them to pop it easily, it just gives you that extra split
Yeah,
second.
exactly.
Because Blink Hex that's the fastest initiation in the game.
Yeah, it's
Can't really
instant cast.
counteract.
I mean, WhiteMan can probably, like, if he impales from Fog into a Hex.
Oh, we have a coil to start things out here on Zephyr. He's on the outskirts here. Looks like he's going to get taken out. That Sunray from LOA. Yawar was TPing, canceled it though. Okay. Now he's getting pinged by somebody, but
They know exactly where he is, and they know that he cancels his TP, so I expect T1 to bring a lot of heroes here.
okay.
They do have Lesla already set up in the area. He's sort of acting as a barrier. Line from behind.
And
Dire's top
WhiteMan
tower
is actually
is
by
under
himself.
attack.
And here come the TP, Carl. And that Dragon from Lesla with a nice Berserker's call onto 2. And they're just going to blow up WhiteMan as a result. It looks like Quincy Crew ready, like you said.
Yeah, Lesla, he played that fantastically. He knew that Morph was a little bit vulnerable, especially since he expended his TP, and he was just ready there. That was like perfect execution for the Lion, right? You come from an unexpected angle, you pop the Lincolns, and you instantly hexed, but it still wasn't quite enough.
Vambrace picked up on the TB. Pretty good one. What are you hoping for tier 2s?
For Terrorblade?
Yeah.
Vambrace is good. Let me take a look. I really like Aquila because I like mana regen.
Okay.
And I think Pupil's Gift is very solid. Like any of the Essence Ring, Pupil Gift, and Nethershaw, they're like very solid defensive options. But I think Vambrace and Quicksilver are probably your best farming ones. Aquila, Vambrace, and Quicksilver. And Pulse fine too. Honestly, all the tier 2 items are pretty solid right now in Dota.
Yeah, I think they're quite balanced,
Dire's
actually.
top tower is under
Fairy
attack.
Trinket, on the other hand,
That is a good one. Possessed
Yeah.
Mask as well.
has the Yasha. Of course, not 20 minutes yet. See if he goes for the shard before actually finishing the Manta.
Quincy, they want to go in here.
Yeah, they sure do. Cuckoo puts himself potentially in harm's way. The Berserker's call is there with the Sunray to follow. And that is going to be a very easy kill onto Cuckoo. And even the Mortimer's Kiss is coming out from afar. And they know that that's down, so that's yet another spell that they don't have to worry about for this potential Roche take. Even Quinn is going for Lincolns.
Yeah, it's just a really good item this game. It's hard to initiate onto these. Like, if you give Puck enough time to phase shift, he'll get that off. You give Morphling enough time to morph the mid, right? Yeah. You just need a little bit of time. Also, I really like the Morphling versus Timbersaw matchup. I saw this once. I think it was Ale versus Beast Coast at the major. I can't quite remember. But he was Morphling against a Timbersaw, and at level 6 he just solo killed him. Because the Whirling Death is so good against these strength heroes, like Timbersaw. And this Aegis has really swung the momentum of this map. Aegis means that you can push lanes further than you otherwise would. You can sort of take areas that normally you wouldn't deserve. And if you get map control with Quincy Crew's lineup, I think it's very easy for them to find kills.
Yeah. Aegis online, like you said. E-Blade is almost done for Yawar, about 800 away from that bad boy.
He is so farmed now, considering his start. I mean, Terrorblade is 2,000 above him, which blows my mind. But considering Morphling's start, I thought he wouldn't be able to get into this Dota game.
Does that really blow your mind, though? I feel like we've seen Terrorblade literally every game throughout the major until now.
That's true.
And he always
It
farms
doesn't
well.
really blow my
Is
mind,
under
but
attack.
I just saw Morphling's items like, wow, that's really farmed, and I didn't see Terrorblade's network after.
Dire's
That's true.
structures are
Okay.
fortified.
Well, Lesla has the Manta. Now just needs that shard for this huge power spike. I'm not sure if they're actually going to wait for it because he's still pretty strong right now.
I think you have to push forward on the map. Try to get your line as forward as possible.
Is under attack.
They do have the BKB on Carl, but it feels a bit awkward. Like these last, like maybe 12 minutes for
Radiant's bottom tower
T1,
is
because you don't
under
have a
attack.
blink on your initiator, your
Dire's
Dragon
top
Knight.
tower
It doesn't
is
feel
under
like they've been
attack.
able to do anything but sort of react to what Quincy Crew is doing. As a result, they
Dire's
sort
top
of lost
tower
that lead
has
that they built
fallen.
up early. Also, I have not been liking the Midas pickup at this tournament.
Really? The Invoker or Midas's have
Radiant's
felt
bottom
pretty
tower
good.
is under
Invoker makes
attack.
sense. Like, I mean, some of them are good, but I saw like Tundra did 3 Midas's. I did not like that.
I mean, that game was that was a weird one.
That was not
to be
good.
fair. Yeah. So
Radiant's
tier 2
bottom
towers down.
is under
MSS,
attack.
by the way, position 4 Hoodwink has a Maelstrom coming. Obviously synergizes really well with Acorn Shot, but it's more that he's position 4. Talk to me about why he picks this one up. That's awesome.
I have no idea.
That is, I don't think I've seen him pick that up once in the NADPC.
Yeah, they need more damage, I guess, and he's building it. Maelstrom's very good against, again, there's 3 high armor cores on T1, and they're all sort of tanky. I mean, Terribly's a tanky hero with Dragonlance, SMY, and Tiscadi, right?
Right.
So maybe they just feel like they lack damage a little bit more, and then you can E-Blade people, sort of deal.
You see the double TP out here from T1 into their base, so Quincy Crew won't find anybody initially, but now into the enemy triangle.
Yao's really far from this fight, though. I don't know if Quincy Crew can take a fight here. They should hold a hill and just push waves from this area.
And now there's the Blink Dagger on the DK, so some initiation coming the way of T1 as this game, again, very even game so far, and kind of to be expected considering that the 3-game series for them in the Animajor went all 3 games.
Actually, I'm trying to think about this Maelstrom, because it's not for lane shove. Wait, one smoke in here?
MSS going to get clipped by the Chakra. We can see the DK ult is popped. Carl does get this one out, and MSS will be the sacrifice for Quincy Crew. If they just get out with that, they'll take that, I believe, any day of the week. But a lot of chase potential. Coop goes the Timber Chain Chakra. They're going to find Leslie potentially. Actually, this is the Timber Chain, but still lots of damage to come on top of this. Terrorblade instantly. What? Holy Jesus. The egg pops on the sideline. They're going to find yet another kill, this time on Leslie. So it's a 2-for-1. 23 Savage. I can't believe that he dropped that fast. Yuar turns into Mr. Timbersaw himself. They're going to find Zephyr in the trees. That Sunray will ensure that they get their 3rd kill of this engagement.
Look at Quinn. He's getting his revenge tips in. He's been being tipped all game.
At first, when I saw Terrorblade die, I thought it was an illusion. It died.
Yeah, he didn't get wand off.
I had to do a double take.
Agitreads and Agi Vanbrace. Maybe he should go into that strength Vanbrace. They just did so much magic damage to him. I think potentially that 10% magic resist could have taken him a lot.
In meta here, as we can see. Let's see how fast he goes down here. Boom! E-Blade with the Sun Ray. Yeah, that is, whew. That's rough stuff.
Yeah, but why is Mojo getting Maelstrom when they do so much damage? They just, like, it's some like foresight I don't quite see right now, I guess.
You can ask him, I mean, you're friends with him. You can text him later and ask.
Usually I only message him that I'm reporting him, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, they're very mean to him indeed. We see the E-Blade, Sharpshooter to follow. Not enough damage to take out Cuckoo on the Timbersaw.
Dire's structures are
Tier
fortified.
2 tower now taking heavy damage, but the fortification will be popped by T1.
I've been seeing a lot of this Zeo Scepter versus Hoodwinks just so you can self-purge it. I saw it on the top Hunter earlier on this tournament, but we should note that because of that, you don't have a Lotus Orb to sort of get that Ethereal and Silence off your Terrorblade. That's part of the reason why he died in that bottom fight.
Well, Carl is actually forced to pop his BKB and TP out.
Radiant's top tower
Will
is
be
under
successful.
attack.
That's not almost as a shard too. 200 gold, and that's a strong axe timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so he's going to have that aggressive counter helix essentially. It's basically like having 2 separate counter helixes because they don't share cooldowns as well. Quinn is going to be spotted out here. Reflection on him. They're not going to be able to hit the Earth Spike. Quinn, wow, he's just dancing with T1. Actually has to pop the coil just to ensure he gets out.
Middle tower is
I
under
thought he was
attack.
dead there because I thought he was going to have to turn to Blink in the Timbersaw ulti, but Quinn with the 3000 IQ play, he just goes forward, pushes past them, and Sans isn't close to get out.
Really, you need 3000 IQ to do that.
Yeah, I've seen your puck.
That's not true. I haven't played puck in years.
Seen your puck, but I can imagine it.
That's true. Yeah, I can only imagine as well. But,
I've seen my puck, so, but that's like a 40 IQ one, so.
Yeah, makes sense.
So 23 Savage, he's going for the BKB, but I feel like his items... I mean, Scotty is really good against Morphling, but they feel a bit
Radiant's
defensive.
bottom
Like, I don't know if they have
tower is under attack.
damage if they're having to fight into Quincy Crew's lineup. Like, Quincy Crew are going to group up around, like, some coil egg, and normally you need a lot of damage to push through that.
So what would you go for here? Because, I mean, in that last fight, if he had BKB, he still would have probably gotten initiated on pretty low, but the BKB ensures that he gets Sunder off there, probably, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, like, an itemization problem, or just, like, this is just how the lineup goes. Maybe you have to wait for one more item after BKB. Because if I look at his items, like, you want each of these items, right? Like, they make sense. SMI, the Dragonlance, the Skadi, the BKB, they all make sense. It's just, he doesn't feel like he's a 16k net worth hero in this game.
Yep, not yet, at least. We'll see in this next upcoming fight. But you are going for a BKB of his own. But here's the initiation from Carl. Dragon Tail, as you can see, the Sunray from afar, healing up Lesla pretty nicely. Is the Finger of Death going to be enough? The Hex to follow, and indeed, he took literally every kiss there from Mortimer. Took a while, but Lesla does die. Looks like it's going to be a trade, though. He'll take out WhiteMan. Quinn, though, takes the Dragon Tail to follow. Oh, boy, that's not what he wanted. Was looking for a pick and run, but not able to run that time.
I feel like I've seen this so many times this tournament. Like, the offlaners, they just think they're super tanky, and they play in the middle of the map with not enough backup. Like, with only a Phoenix behind you, he literally got hit by 5 heroes there. You're not going to survive.
Yeah.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Especially not against a type of hero like Timbersaw, who can just eat right through you.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, like, they use Finger, they use every Mortimer's Kiss on him. And he doesn't have a cloak or anything, right? Like, maybe if he has the cloak or a hood, but he doesn't really have a tanky build.
Oh, that's interesting. He actually got the Mindbreaker on Axe.
That's 25 attack.
Does that apply to, does the silence apply to the illusions, you know?
No, illusions do not get the active from it, but they do get the 25 attack speed, which is nice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Mindbreaker's sort of a weird item.
What's that?
Mindbreaker feels like a weird item. I think it's a... It's like
that's
only...
a Pango item, right?
Yeah, it's good on Pango and Wind Ranger, right? But
Radiant.
I mean, the science can be pretty clutch, but yeah,
it can be, but it's awkward to use.
Yeah.
You compare it to like the Titan Sliver or a Paladin Sword or whatever you want.
Yeah, they're always good, basically. A Spider Leg is literally always good. That's the problem with that one. I mean, do you think that if it was literally just boots, wouldn't it still be good?
Like without that?
Like literally just regular boots. Yeah. That would be still an item you use like in tier 4 stage. For some heroes, right?
It would be, but I wouldn't be happy when I saw it because other neutral items is like buffing up your current power spec, right? Like that's why Fairy Trick is so good. It's because it's good for the time of the game attack. It's another free Roshan.
Yeah.
They identified that they use meta morphosis.
Quinn takes the shard, okay. So this will give 70 bonus damage to Waning Rift and knock people back 250 distance. So it sounds cool in theory in terms of like synergizing with Dream Coil, but in practice I haven't really seen it be too successful.
It used to get bought a lot when it was 100 damage because you would just buy for the damage. But to be honest, Phoenix already bought his, Axe already bought his. Hoodwinks is like a negative, I think. Like it's not even a shard, and I don't think Yawar cared about
the decoy.
Radiant's bottom
He was just like the last one left to take one.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good point.
That decoy is actually awful. So.
Could be game winning. You never know.
Yeah. If you
pucks.
cast a spell on it, it might stun you for 1 second.
Yes. Maybe if it was a regular bushwhack and not a lesser one. But yeah, it will be. I mean, with the Waning Rift also will reveal invisible units, including wards in the area, which is kind of cool. So kind of the Zeus treatment to some degree. Yeah, majority of Quincy Crew do have the shard, like you said. So smoking up, 3K network lead now for them. Looking for the initiation. Dragon Form spot, that's the Aghanim Scepter on Carl. He is very hard to kill. He's actually going to jump and actually successfully get the Dragon Tail. Morphling gets blown up. That's just the Aegis though. Leslie jumps in to try to save him, but that's not enough heal from Leslie. Yawar in the meantime pops his BKB, trying to kite 23 Savage, but the damage is just out of control now. The BKB's out of charges now as Yawar attempting to run away with that Scotty applied into the Chakram, and Yawar looks super dead. Just in time, he's barely going to live with the attribute shift coming through, but Quincy Crew still loses too, and Carl, full HP, beast mode, man. Man, he looks strong.
I think 2 times in that fight, Carl was able to pop a Lincoln to get the Dragon Tail stun off just because of his neutral item, Psychic Headband. Very clutch play by him.
Yeah, that's an instant Lincoln's Breaker.
And this Midas, it's paying off, you know. I didn't like how it looked in the game, but at this point, once you have the Aghanims, he looks like a beast.
Yeah, now with the Scotty online, it's pretty good against a Morphling type hero.
That fight did feel a bit disjointed for Quincy Crew, right? Like they had the Aegis, so Yawar was sort of positioning aggressively. But Leslie, he goes in to save him, and the egg is like out of range of the Morphling. He can't even sunrate him.
Go!
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, Leslie jumped in to try to save him as if there wasn't an Aegis, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's going in. I think maybe he could have benefited from in that Aegis a bit, but it's hard to say. I mean, he ends up calling a DK, so it looks a bit silly.
I mean, with that, it's still only a 1K network lead for T1, so the game isn't like completely in either team's favor, but that was definitely a nice power spike. Getting rid of the Aegis, pretty huge. Still the cheese available on Quinn right now, as he's going for a Desolator, it looks like. And in terms of T1 items, Cuckoo has the Sage Kaya with the Yule's Pipe. going for a Lotus Orb right now. And we talked, of course, already about Carl and his Aghanim Scepter. We'll be going for an Assault Cuirass on top of that. And the big boy, 23 Savage, he's actually going for Satanic before the Daedalus. So we've talked about this build a lot, just kind of being cookie cutter. Typically, you'll see the Daedalus come before this. What are your thoughts on going for the tankiness?
Yeah, I think he has a different read on the game than I did initially. I think his read's actually correct. Because once I saw that fight, like, Carl and Kuka are dealing a lot more damage than I thought they would. So his idea is, like, they have these 3 tanky cores. If he gets to a point where the damage on Quincy Crew runs out, because Puck's damage will run out, right? It's very spell-based. Warfang is based on E-Blade, and Axe is based on, like, this one Manta Claw. If they can survive through that, he thinks he can win any team fight. Like, I can completely see that happening.
And well, T1 all together now, basically, in this Quincy Crew jungle. Still 8-second BKB on 23 Savage. See the 20 strength talent taken for Carl. We've talked about that talent before. Right, do you actually have a preference on that talent versus the Elder Dragon or the attack range?
If you're buying Blink, I think you should always take the strength. Like, you're blinking on top of them to use your 400 range stun. I don't see why you would take attack range. It has to be, like, very specific.
We did see that talent a lot in the Animator, actually.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Like, maybe there's some reason I just don't understand. Maybe for sieging high ground is better. That would probably make sense.
And Leslau has a BKB of his own now. That is a pretty... In conjunction with the Desolator on Quinn, pretty nice timings here for Quincy Crew, but the game is dead even. Second rush already down, so waiting for this third roast potentially. It'll have either the Aghanim Scepter or the Refresher Shard, which both teams would be more than thrilled to take. Typically, the second rush decides the game. I want to say like 70% of the games. Not the case here.
Yeah, this game has been very even. I like how both teams are sort of identifying the status of team fights. Like, you can see Quinn, he's going for a Desolator. He needs more damage, and you can see 23 Savage, he's going for a Satanic, saying, like, you don't have enough damage. Right. Now he has a DD rune, so it doesn't matter what items he has, he's gonna smack.
All right, I need to hype this item up a bit, Mr. AUI. We got Mr. Leslau working towards an Aghanim Scepter, one of my favorite Ags in the game. Gives you lower cooldown of Berserker's Call. Anybody you Berserker's Call gets Battle Hungered, and anybody you Battle Hunger gets -7 armor stolen from them and given to Ags. So with the Desolator on top of that, they have a lot of minus armor.
That's some cool synergy.
Yeah, I absolutely love this item. It's not really an item you can get that early, but
it's a good item for sure. I don't really have much else to say about it other than that.
Just agree with me, that's all I care about.
Yeah, I think normally it is designed to be like synergized with Blade Mail, because you would remove the armor and do more damage to Blade Mail. But no one's buying Blade Mail, so instead he's synergizing it with his allies, which I like to see.
Alright, Carl in the trees. 23 Savage beating on the tier 3 towers. Already at half HP, and Quincy Crew have to scurry back to defend.
And T1, they did a good job during that push of like cutting the mid wave with all the terrible illusions. We saw EG when they were playing against Nigma, like we saw a similar push from Nigma where they 5-man top, and EG did the same smoke as Quincy now. You get forced to the base, you have lane control in some other lanes, you smoke out. However, T1, they have a lot more information than Nigma did this game, just because of how they're shoving lanes.
We have many players smoked right now.
Ooh, they see a lot of T1 on their ward though.
23 Savage is so enormous right now. Carl, in the literal sense, is enormous, but goes back to his worthless human form. Who's going to show in lane. And again, kind of the issue for Quincy Crew this game is that T1's heroes are just so hard to jump because they're so ridiculously tanky in general. Both with Timber, I mean, even the Terrorblade at this point.
Terrorblade has 3.5k HP with a Paladin sword. And the stuns, I mean, you have a call, but your follow-up isn't really casual because T1 have ways to cut that Hoodwink Bushwhack tree. Just, you know, Timber Saul's ultimate. And yeah, top lane pushes in because T1 were able to like leave illusions around the map, and they know exactly where Quincy Crew are.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And you can see Zephyr on the Snapfire has his shard as well, so that's the Scatter Blast stun.
Oh, with a Blink Dagger too, so he's a good catch hero.
I mean, that's a really powerful shard. Big power spike for him. But Scotty now online for Yawar, so he's starting to get pretty beefy himself. Is Carl back into that dragon form? Forcing TPs back again from Quincy Crew's side. But again, the network, like, we're not seeing either team kind of run away with this at all, which surprises me to a little bit, to a small degree here. I feel like T1 has feels like at least more map control, but apparently not the case.
They just had to play really tight. I think the reason why we haven't seen Lesal get any pickoffs with this like Link Manta with the shard is just because T1 are playing very like solid. They're not really. I think they believe in their scale. Maybe if you play like this, they're not really taking any risks. And I think if I was them, like they've won every late game game I've seen them on. So they probably believe in that.
Leveler on Leslau. That is an awesome item for the right-clicking axe. Very cool. Let's see if it comes to... Oh, Leslie's going to jump in with that Manta style, and burst damage coming through. It's not enough. They're going to get the Yule Step to come online here. But it looks like Cuckoo will fall eventually. Nope, Timber Chains with that Lotus Orb, so the Culling Blade not nearly enough. They're trying to kite out 23 Savage. He gets the reflection up. Now Yawar's the one in trouble. Gets 4 steps to the safety. Waveforms to the high ground. Still getting right-click from afar. Arl with that Dragon Tail keeps him in place. Led with a counter initiation. Will it be enough to actually kill Yawar? Getting healed more from the egg to follow with the shard online on LOA. Some way, somehow, nobody has died in this fight. So much sustained from both sides. My God, that's crazy. And Roche is available.
And T1, they need to do this Roshan right now. They use Metamorphosis, they need to go.
Aghanim Scepter, so likely see that on 23 Savage with the Fear.
Yeah, I would like
spell.
Him or Timbersaw. I think Timbersaw's is pretty good.
Quinn, they pop the Linkens into the Dragon Tail again, trying to get healed, but it's not going to be enough. Buys back into the game. Initiation now from Leslau. Looks like he's going to drop shortly after. A double kill for Cuckoo, and now a double buyback on Quincy Crew. That all rhymed for some reason. Roshan at half HP. Need to reset here. There's 23 Savage. No meta right now. He's going to jump in. No, they're going to try to burst out. That's a buyback onto Quinn. Oh no. Quincy Crew crumbling here, but Leslie with a pretty big initiation. I don't know if they can fight without their position 2 puck. You can see all this damage and all this control just going to work. And this looks like the potential beginning of the end of game 1. 4 dead for Quincy Crew. Make it 6 if you want to count the buybacks. And they only get the Snapfire in turn.
Yeah, that was a rough fight. I mean, I think T1 pretty much have this game now, but this ward, they placed on the high ground. Quincy Crew died. I think they lost 3 core heroes. Like, Puck died twice to the same ward, and Axe as well. Quick Carlos, he's threatening to break his items in Quincy Crew's base.
Apparently. You see the intel replay here. And yeah, that dieback, that ended the fight pretty much. Lesau just a second too late. He was just there a little bit earlier. Maybe Quinn survives, but either way, T1 playing really disciplined here.
Yeah, their late game Dota is phenomenal. They're just really good with map control. I think, I'm not too sure if Quincy Crew are out of sentries or like what happened there, but you can't let a high ground ward be.
At least it's not the rage face. Yeah. Although that was a great look, honestly.
That was. You know, it's nice when Dota players show emotion.
Yeah, I prefer that. I'm sick of robots, man. Alright, well, that's going to be the bottom racks, and the middle racks will be next in all likelihood. Still 30 seconds without any core hero. So an easy double here for T1. And they can reset if they really want. 23 Savage is the one that took the Aghanim Scepter, so that, like we talked about, gives you the Terror Wave, which provides that AoE fear, and then gives you a few seconds of Metamorphosis to work with. But it's going to be Megas, it looks like. And Quincy Crew, they held on strong for quite a while. It was really even, and it was literally just that fight. That was the game.
It was the same at the bottom one where Quincy Crew had the Aegis on Morphling. Like 2 times now, they've taken big fights into T1's vision, or they've been baited into it.
Can they blow up the 23 Savage? Oh my God, the Satanic is bringing him alive. He's getting beat down in the meantime. The egg does pop successfully, but really not enough damage done from Quincy Crew's side. So 23 Savage continuing to focus on the towers as we see the fear come out, and that's going to be a double kill, taking out Yawar in turn. GG is called game 1 to T1, looking just as strong as they were in the Animator.
Honestly, maybe even stronger. They played a really clean game this game. They just, every single time there was a fight opportunity, they always played the percentages. They never really ran it too far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we get to see the Terrorblade yet again, looking extremely strong, yet continuing to get through these drafts throughout literally every game through the Animator and now in this tournament. But yeah, I think T1, I feel like they're to like the 25-30 minute mark. Both teams were super even. I'm expecting this to go 3 games. It could go either way, but who knows, Mr. AUI? Who knows? So I guess with that, we will go straight into the panel because they have some very important things to say about this game.
Yes, very important.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Enchantress.
Radiant team Dire team
Lion.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Terrorblade.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Puck.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Winter Wyvern.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Watches.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Witch Doctor.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Choose your hero. Prepare for battle.
Greetings!
I gambled, you lost.
Oh, that's smart.
I've been to hell and back to hell and back. I've been to hell and back to hell and back. You feel the
เป็น
red
เกมที่ดี
of death.
Someone
30
call the
seconds to
doctor.
battle.
Someone call the doctor.
The battle begins. Dire's courier has been killed.
có đài bắt ở đây không? 458 đài bắt rồi.
Enchantress, let us run together. Denied.
I'm out. Summer night.
Giết một con rồng chạy thành công.
I shall see a great deal more.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That is out.
Never ask a wyvern why.
Denied.
Có đài bắt ở đây không? 458 đài bắt rồi.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You are denied.
Oh, look at it go.
Silence. Was that smart?
Có đài bắt ở đây không? 458 đài bắt rồi.
Greetings.
It's just not fair.
Ông giết một con rồng máu mà chạy thành công.
Greetings.
I am compelled to thank you.
Puck out. Behold.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's structures are fortified.
Silence!
You feel the radiant violence.
Regeneration.
Nằm tém lại bắt rồi.
Was that smart? A prize! Was that smart?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Bones will make a fine powder.
Silence!
Ready to ladies.
Wait up! Here I am!
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Silence!
Yeah, catch.
Here I am! Silence! Illusion!
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Strange transformation. You might wish to retract your last move.
Thank you, my beauties.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Thành đầu.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's just not fair.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Silence!
Invisibility.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, look at it go!
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Prize!
Coin of the realm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Regeneration.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bury me in the ground, Max. Die with me.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
Invisibility.
Gotcha! Radiant are scanning. Dire are scanning.
Money changes hands.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
458 có đài bắt ở đây không? 458 đài bắt rồi.
shall repay this debt.
Thank you, my beauties. Greetings! Greetings!
Sense of difficulty.
And he steals it from Magnus, and then he uses high APM to use both.
Radiant's
Oh,
courier
okay.
has
Yeah,
been
with
killed.
Magnum Scepter, sure. All right, we have a smoke here from Quincy Crew. 2K lead still. No Roche attempt as of yet. I mean, that's the biggest value for the untouchable at this point, is for the
Dire's top
Roshan, I
tower
suppose.
is
But
under attack.
looks like T1 are reading this. 23 Savage, like we said, they went that Sage. Scotty is next, and he is super happy just to...
Another shot coming out for Terrorblade. Probably one of the best tier 2 items for him.
Yeah, the armor loss does not matter for
It
a hero
does
like
not
that.
matter at all.
Roshan's going to pop the Stampede. We have the Maledict, everything online. Still silence. Cass is going to be there, though. They don't give him any space. So freebie for Quincy Crew.
I think both this game and game 1, Quincy Crew have done a pretty good job of defending their side of the map. Like every time T1 have pushed past the river, they sort of find punishes, but I haven't seen that many aggressive moves from them successfully. I think T1 have been pretty good at holding down the fort. The difference, however, is that last time T1 had the Terrorblade, who was 2,000 net worth ahead of the Morphling. In this game, Quincy Crew's Terrorblade is pulling ahead of 22 Savage and a Lifestealer.
I mean, the other thing we didn't even talk about is that this is a Doom game where typically you will have the net worth advantage just in an even game.
That is true.
And they're down 2K, which, I mean, I don't know how you would extrapolate that exactly. Maybe like 4K down right now, would you say?
I have no idea.
Hero?
Doom's not like Alchemist, where a lot of your net worth is fake, but to a degree, the hero is balanced around that gold mechanism, right? They're just doing Roshan. They have the Witch Doctor heal, level 2, and Centaur with Vanguard Hood. Quinn's not listening to me because I've told him you need to go beside Roshan for Exo to do full damage.
Yeah, that's what you do with DP, right? You go close to a tower just to get the extra ghost damage. You're going to see the pick off here onto MSS, but creating space for the Roshan. He'll take this.
It's actually damage Exo besides him. It's like within like 200 range compared to that 600 range, so it's a big deal.
I mean, there must be a reason he's doing it. He obviously knows it.
You don't understand pro players. Like sometimes, I mean, but here's the thing. So, I know you know this because I did the experiment with you. There's a psych experiment where you have to count people bouncing a basketball and passing it to each other.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom
And I had
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. There's going to see the silence into the hookstop. Double edge to follow. Will 23 Savage get off? Oh, he doesn't even get the infest off. There were creeps there, but
I think he was dead anyway, to be honest. But yeah, that's a good pick off from them. Really good punish on. You know, 23 Savage, he extends over the river, Quincy Crew punish him.
Yeah, true.
Seems to be the theme of this game.
But anyway, back to your point about pro players.
Yes, if everyone's ever wondering why pro players tend to miss small things when they're hyper-focused on the ultra-complex game of Dota, go Google a video about... What should they Google? Like, counting...
You're the one that told me.
I don't know. Counting basketballs past psych experiment.
Okay.
And just watch that video on YouTube.
It's actually really good.
It's really funny
as well.
Dire's bottom tower is under
To make
attack.
this more Dota related, I will also say on top of that, after owning a team for a while, and I mean you were on that team, pro players actually don't know every mechanic in the game as well.
And it's not
Like,
even
that's
about
actually
knowing the
a thing.
mechanics, right? Sometimes it's just about you have to specifically know such a specific mechanic and apply it.
They actually see WhiteMan attempting to TP out now. They're going to cancel the Yules again from Quinn. And this will be a Spirit Siphon into a death, so Quincy Crew again with another kill. But I'm not saying Quinn doesn't know that mechanic, but I'm saying I think there's this understanding right now in the community that pro players just know literally every mechanic. That's definitely not the case.
No, pro players are very stupid. They play Dota.
Yeah, they're going to do the other things. There's Zephyr, okay, Curse onto Yawar, but there's a hoof stop to follow. And with the Maledict and a double edge, Zephyr takes a tumble. Oh, Stampede is there. Carl not able to finish off Witch Doctor for the time being. Gets the coil off only onto Yawar, though. And with a lot of these spells expended and still the Aegis online, Quincy Crew have free reign to go on this tier 2.
Yeah, I think they should look to get a tier 2 tower. I would like Yawar to just walk down to bot. I don't think this mid tier 2 is easy to take. Just take the free one so you can take map control with this outpulse. Yeah, but anyways, the original point, if you look at that psych experiment, is that you hyper focus on some stuff, it's really easy to miss very blatantly obvious details. Even if Quinn does know that he should go close at Roshan, maybe he's thinking about how he can take the engage, maybe he's making some calls about something like that. It's really easy to make simple mistakes like that when it's hyper complex and hyper focused.
So anytime I'm wrong about something, I'm just going to blame it on being too hyper focused, just on something else. Okay?
That applies very well to your gameplay.
23 Savage able to get that tier 1 tower, pops the rage, looking for the infest on Carl potentially here. He'll do so successfully. Remember, the range on that is abysmally low. I think it's 50 range if I'm not mistaken. Basically, ultra melee.
On infest?
Yeah.
Is there a way to make it higher?
Yeah, with Aghanim Scepter.
That's really good.
I am the... Okay, there's a few heroes I'm a master with, AOI. This is one of them, all right? Real life, I love them. Yeah, I love them.
All right, we can play when we get home.
Okay, sounds good.
I don't want.
Chasing 23 Savage, the reflection is off.
Okay, so 23 Savage, he's changed up his build a bit. Because he's a bit behind, he's going for the MKB instead of the Scotty. I think that's completely the right choice. If you are behind, you cannot itemize defensively. You will literally never come back into the game. You have to be able to surprise your opponents and clutch out a kill with like some single target line disable doom blah 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 damage in order to come back into Dota.
All right, still 2k net worth lead for Quincy Crew. Carl takes out the wave, phase shift, blink. Looks like he's fine. So nicely done from him. Oh, Leslie actually gets the blind hoof stop, but there's the cold embrace. Stampede to follow. Looks like they'll just give up WhiteMan now.
Gates swing.
Still, Aegis online for another less than a minute here. Can Quincy Crew get something else? They got the tier 2 bot. Still tier 2s in the top and middle.
I do like, I mean, it's super small. There's not too much here. So when they got that pick online, you saw Yawar, he had the Aegis, and how he positioned, he sort of like positioned more to the left of everyone, just to give that extra vision. See, that's the thing that pro players, they do naturally, but they might forget about the Roshan thing, you know?
Yeah.
Dota's weird.
I think it's the mind that's more weird.
That's true.
Human beings are weird. As you can see, some mass TPs into the bottom lane. Silence with 23 Savage able to get up the rage beforehand, so just a tad late from Quinn's side.
Very clutch from 23 Savage. Like, he calculated. DP's been off the bat for like, 3.2 seconds. I need to rage soon.
Yeah, very true. And this tier 2 tower. I mean, for something like that, is this deny worthy? You can just leave it up?
I think you should just deny it.
No.
I don't really think tier 2 mid really gives you that much map control, but honestly, it's not a big deal. Killing towers isn't so much about the gold nowadays as it is about map control.
We have a scan into their own jungle, I believe. Yeah, and the follow scan now into the triangle from Quincy Crew. Nobody's going to be spotted. Smoke still online for T1. Double damage on Puck. And Carl and company looking for an opening. Of course, with Cuckoo's Blink and BKB, this gives them a lot of options. But the Infest Bomb not going to happen this time.
Under attack.
And MKB is basically done. Just needs to finish the recipe about 300 away for the Life Stealer. Right, not to bring up Aghanim Scepter again, AUI, but if you go for the pure right click, it becomes legitimately good. The reason it's not good is because a lot of the items you go for are attack speed based, which doesn't do anything with the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, I have a friend who rushes eggs on Lifesteal every game.
Oh no.
We just lose the game.
He's not doing it right.
That's like armlet daedalus, eggs.
All right, I'm gonna make a prediction for TI. Okay, this Aghanim Scepter will get micro buffed.
It's gonna get omega buffed,
and then it's gonna get very strong. Okay, we're gonna see it.
I think the buffs it's gonna get are pretty significant.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully, they don't redesign it because I actually do like the idea of infecting an enemy.
If I could have it at 14 minutes when chasing the enemy 5 position, it'd be really good.
So now that the Lifestealer has the MKB, what's the plan here for T1? Go for an Infest Bomb play? It feels like that's pretty straightforward what they want to do. They have a lot, and they have counter initiation with Wyvern ult from.
Yeah, I would say they have a lot of single target with Doom and Lion, so they can surprise Quincy Crew's heroes on the side lanes. I think they should play around that. Maybe if they get a really good jump, they can play around the middle of the map, but I think most likely you're going to see smokes towards the sides.
Yeah, we're going to see a smoke already here, as Lesla was actually working on an Aghanim Scepter. So the Centaur Ags, the Stampede 40% damage reduction is pretty huge, but still 500 or so away from actually finishing it. So I don't think Quincy Crew are looking for a fight quite yet, especially when he's that close to it. And what other items are we looking for? So Lincoln's looks to be next for Quinn. Just an ultimate orb away, so about 1,000 from finishing that. That's going to be pretty high impact.
MSS has his Holy Locket. Very strong item dispatch.
I like that it's such an afterthought in past patches, and now it's like, yeah, that's...
I've been building that item for a long time on Enchantress. It's really good. Gives you everything you want.
Yeah, for sure. Now, talk to me about this this team fight from Quincy Crew then, because once you get this Ags online for Lesla, that gives you like a lot of great Roche capability as well. You just run right through the cliff. You can disengage with that. Obviously, the damage reduction is huge.
As long as Quincy Crew don't get like 3 to 4 man Wyvern cursed, if they initiate on T1, there's no way for them to lose a fight. Because all their heroes are sort of like, if you go first with the EXO, the meta, etc., then you sort of nullify the effects of Doom. Conversely, like T1, they need to find like pickoffs on side lanes where they get to jump them and get their spells up before Quincy Crew do.
Dire's bottom tower.
Like even if like
attack.
T1 get the wrong jump, then Quincy Crew still win the fight. So the execution is easier for Quincy Crew. You also just have a terrible to push out your lanes.
Lesla's ready to go. Got the Ags in tow, and he is quite beefy indeed. Farm slowed down a bit there after the beginning of the game in terms of his start, but I mean, Centaur's not really a hero that's going to be getting a ton of farm throughout the game anyway. And of course, the top net worth on the side of T1 is actually...
Lion breaks the smoke.
Oh, all right, Carl.
No one knows.
On the high ground. Yep, they see the phase shift. Stop it. Good attempt. MSS is going to get the slow with the enchant. The career is actually be taken out by Carl. It looks like he'll get away with it.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Providing
attack.
quite a good vision here. You can see 23 Savage actually rages and goes inside of a creep. Question is, can they counter initiate here? That is a very fast creep indeed. As Cuckoo jumps in with the finger of death from WhiteMan. That's enough to take LOA out of the fight to start this out. Still has buyback though, so Roche, if they go for it, can still be... Well, actually, the Stampede was used there, wasn't it? Yeah, so 70 seconds, no Stampede. That's pretty big.
This is a really cool ward from T1. It just gave them complete control just above the Roshan there. Sort of a sneaky one. Gives them complete control of the fight. And you know, T1, they're just out-positioning Quincy Crew. Like sometimes he took such an awkward path. His smoke breaks and he's still sort of running forward. It ends up like he's okay because he can always stampede out, but his Witch Doctor ends up dying for his sins.
His sins? Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Deserve punishment.
Just
You expose your backline. The dumb core is always exposing the supports.
And we see Spider Legs picked up. In all of 152 semi-pro and pro matches with the Lifesteal, this patch, Ags hasn't been purchased a single time. That means we don't have any stats on it, so nobody knows.
That is what it means. You are really good with statistics.
Okay, for the record, I do think it's a bad item, but it's close to being very good. Okay.
Like Mage Slayer.
And the concept is really cool. Same with Mage Slayer, yeah. You are. Metamorphosis, 23 Savage, already at half health. Doesn't have infest for another 5 seconds. Continue to get chased. WhiteMan is in the vicinity, so Yawar can't really go any further. It's off the Conjure image. Carl, it's like he's TPing out. So nothing will come of that other than the Metamorphosis pop. So I think with this, T1 probably want to try to fight here.
They're forced to do Roshan these timers.
Exactly. Alright, well, Roche starting to get pounded into, already at half health himself. Cuckoo taking a lot of damage just from an illusion. Yeah, but of course,
Enchantress.
23 Savage is inside Carl right now. The Exorcism. Here we go. He's going to get silenced to start things up. Looks like Quincy Crew going to secure the second Roshan. That is pretty big, and out comes 23 Savage. But there's the Stampede. He's forced to rage. TP out. Will be successful. And Quincy Crew reinitiate here. Do they even want to? The Exorcism's down. Yeah, they will get out with murder here. So Aegis online. That'll be for Yawar. There was a cheese. That's going to be Quinn.
And DP did take the shard.
Oh, baby.
I like that.
Hell yeah.
I don't think it works through BKB. I actually don't know this mechanic.
I highly doubt it works through BKB.
Siphon stays on even if you BKB after it's cast.
Yeah, but fear... There's no fear in the game that goes through BKB, right? Like, what fear goes through BKB? I don't think there's anything.
No, it's only like taunts, right? Like Legion, OT, Axe OT. Yeah, so, but I think it's a good concept versus the Winter Riven here, right? Like, they both last 4 seconds, and then you get a stun right after.
Yeah, it's one that I haven't yet gotten to see yet actually work, but again, even if you don't get the fear, you get the extra Spirit Siphon anyway.
Yeah, so that is nice.
That's, I think, good enough, honestly. You are getting jumped. Doom actually uses his ultimate with the Finger of Death on top. This is just the Aegis, though.
Dire's top tower
Quincy Crew now starting to form up. Trying to respond to this, but not here in time, so Doom down for another couple minutes.
I think that was really good by T1. I think Aegis is like your win condition for breaking high ground against so many single target spells. This means that if they can stall the game out until the Finger and Doom again, like you completely reset all that you would have gained with Aegis. I think teams like your Aegis should be with your team. It shouldn't be off alone. You should use it to gain map control. I think a pretty big mistake from Quincy Crew there.
And Carl being very annoying, taking out multiple waves here to ensure that Quincy Crew can't push. And in the meantime, 23 Savage takes out the tier 2 top.
Is under attack.
Yeah, T1, it feels like, despite losing that second Roche, just outplayed Quincy Crew in the last couple minutes.
Exactly. I think T1's their understanding of how to play the map is just better than Quincy Crew's. Like Quincy Crew, they definitely have their strengths, but I think T1 has a beat on that front.
Oh my God. Leslau going for a refresher. So the double Stampede potential. Sadly, it doesn't stack, so you don't get 80% damage reduction AUI, in case you're wondering. But
thank you.
You can. I've actually forgot the Axe gives you an extra second now to Stampede. That's a new addition, I believe.
So. Also, like at level 20, you have the Stampede cooldown, so it's a pretty low cooldown. Aghanim's.
Yep, that is definitely a good one.
Refresher is a cool item in center, not only for the Stampede, but Host Stomp is a pretty good spell. As you get to 25, sometimes you just stun someone for 7 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good item pick up this game, I think.
About the X-Men, they really want to fight here. Kuku jumps in with the Hoof Stomp, gets up off the Infernal Blade, and Quinn takes heavy damage as a result. You can see LOA healing from the low ground as the Lincoln is already popped and the fortification as well. Wave is completely taken out, and Meta already used as well. It feels like Quinn. They have to defend this top lane, it looks like. Carl. They're going to try to initiate onto him. Hoof Stomp will not connect. Phase shift with the orb. Enchant. Looks like the cask will connect, but he gets force staffed onto the high ground.
Now, T1, they completely have timing here. They have all the spells. They're getting smoke up. There's no meta. There's no exo. Quincy Crew are looking a bit in trouble here. Despite taking that second Roshan, they lost 2,000 HP on their top tower compared to only 800 from the bottom tower. I think a little bit indecisive. They probably didn't take the Doom timer. They didn't know it was down for like 25 seconds. But regardless, like it's hard to push into these heroes.
And this is kind of the issue with lineups where 2 cores have really long cooldowns that you rely on.
For sure.
As we see the coil, it will be used to get the easy kill here for T1.
So easy.
Okay, I should never say that when there's an Enchantress in play. MSS getting Stampeded with that damage reduction applied as well. And okay, I mean, they trade Coil for Stampede there, but of course they know that Meta is still down and Exorcism as well. Now the TP's top.
You see MSS, he's identified a problem. They cannot deal with this puck at all. We saw him like into 5 heroes at the bottom tier 3, just going around. So he's opting to build for a Hex. They do need one, so I like that. I'm just not sure if he'll get it before this game ends.
And the problem is they don't have like a blink on. It's not like a blink Hex. You have to walk up casually and...
But how the puck's playing, he's sort of blinking into you, right? So if you pre-click him, he goes in, he blinks silence, he's just hexing dead.
Okay.
He will die in like half a second to the Terrorblade.
Yeah, Carl doing a really good job of this game. Just pushing out these waves and Just being an overall nuisance. Has a Dagon, so we've seen this a few times in the Animator as well. Kind of just depends on the game, but bursting down these illusions. Like I said, they just don't have a response to him right now.
Single target burst this patch. It's very heal oriented, as we've seen from these like Wyverns that don't Holy Lock and Quincy Crew. If you manage to kill heroes before they're healed, then heals don't do anything. Very high analysis coming. You're welcome.
So heals are strong is what you're saying. As Yawar jumps in, Cold Embrace, not going to be enough. As the damage will go through. So like this takes a tumble.
Itemization from Yawar. He was originally going for the Swift Blink, but Leicester has been such a menace on the map. He just goes back for the Basher just so Leicester can't push into these side lanes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, is there any way, is he actually upgrading? He actually is going for Abyssal Blade right away on top of that. So.
I think that's correct. Swift Blink, it used to be an item that removed the move speed. I think it lowered a lot in priority.
I mean, do you think at some point he just gets rid of the Dragonlance and... Oh, I guess he already has the Blink, doesn't he? So probably go for Swift Blink anyway at some point.
At some point he will for sure. And Leslie, he's also going for the Hex. So they had a full team talk. Like, guys, someone deal with this puck, please. Quinn is molding.
He actually has the best facial expression.
He does. I love Quinn.
It's so awesome.
He wears his heart on his sleeve in a good way most of the time.
Yeah, usually that's not a good thing actually, but for him, I think I would agree.
Is it bad?
Yeah, if you're a real piece of garbage, it's bad. I'm not going to name names. There's a couple people in the community probably not for the best. Huh?
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm not saying anything else. But yeah, T1. And the longer this game goes, who do you favor here in the late game?
And for sure, for a while, I think it's Quincy Crew. Because you just have terribly Death Prophet. It's a very strong dual core.
Oh, Cuckoo with the Shivas jumps in. They want to take out Enchantress, and they will do so. The burst damage is there. Finger of Death.
I was going to say, like, for a while, it has to be done. But Cuckoo already has Refresher Shivas. So he's going to get double Doom off. If he can, like, it's very initiation favored. If he dooms them before they get meta or exo or spirit siphons off, then T1 will win the fights now.
Yeah, Doom is always that wild card, it feels like, in these late game situations. Oh, see the rage actually balanced. And a shard from 23 Savage, if I'm not mistaken. That's an open wounds indeed. Stampede is used, so mitigating a ton of damage here, but will be enough to actually get away. Now with the Inferno Blade and the Infest, Leslau is donezo. Yawar has the spider legs, already popped the meta and BKB, and will have to retreat. And again, the timing, T1. All they have to do is wait for this meta now, and they can, I would assume, try to go high ground.
I feel like it doesn't matter to heroes. T1's idea of how to play the map is just better than Quincy Crew's. And Quincy Crew, they can pull off clutch fights because they're really high-skilled players. But constantly, when they step to a position, they've just gone too far to mid lane. T1 has punished them. I don't see Quincy Crew really setting up for the same type of ganks, like pushing into side lanes and getting plays this game.
Yeah, but really cool to see Lifestealer, Mr. 23 Savage getting the shard. So open wounds. What's that?
Almost an egg.
Yeah, almost halfway there.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, open wounds a little bit different than it used to be. First of all, it has good range, where you had to level it up last, like the original incarnation. And the fact that you get max HP percentage damage per person that hits the target, it's actually really strong at taking out super tanky targets like the Centaur. But it is easily dispellable if you have anything like that, which, you know, we can see Leslau does not.
Yeah, he's going for Hex, so there's no Lotus Orbs anywhere.
Yeah. Well, 23 Savage has to rage. LOA taking heavy damage, and he is going to get bursted down again from WhiteMan. And they're going to apply the coil only for the Enchantress alone, but it'll be worth it for them. 5 versus 3 advantage now.
No meta.
Yeah, still no meta. Exorcism is up, but there's no way they're going to pop that without their full force behind them.
Structures are
I feel like the last 4 Metamorphosis haven't really met many kills. I don't know if it's like a lineup issue or a comms issue. Maybe T1 just outplaying them with vision. But it's looked hard for Quincy Crew to get picks onto any of the T1 cores.
Yeah, for sure. Leslau gets off the hook stomp. Yawar with the Mythical Blade. They will get the support here. But there's the Doom from Cuckoo onto Centaur himself. Yawar pops the BKB, but Cuckoo pops his own as well. Shivas, along with the Refresher Orb activated. Looks like they'll be able to clean up Leslau pretty easily here. Quinn already gets off the Exorcism in fear of getting that double Doom. Terrible here, 23 Savage in that rage form. Does have Infest up as he is taunting away. One of the best taunts in the game, by the way.
You want to taunt tier list?
I literally do, actually. And it's top 5.
Nice. Everything's top 5.
It's literally top 5.
All right.
What do you think the best taunt in the game is? I'm trying to remember what I picked. I know the top 3. I just don't remember what the order is.
The Shadow Fiend one's really annoying.
Nope. I agree though. Sorry, it is annoying.
So another EXO, like these big spells from Quincy Crew, they just haven't been able to secure any kills. You have Enchantress Witch Doctor support. Your mid doesn't really go in. It's pretty much all on Leslau, and they've been kiting him really well.
Sadly, we won't be seeing the Aghanim Scepter on the live stream of this game because there is a refresher shard.
Yeah, he would have taken
Roshan.
it for sure.
Yeah, there's no way he would have taken either. That's the sad part, the sad reality for my life. 12K network lead for T1, and this might be the last-ditch effort for Quincy Crew. They have to deny this. Buy back onto Leslau. Remember, has the Stampede available, can walk through terrain here.
They might find a Wyvern first.
It's actually going to be popped, but Zephyr doesn't realize it's been popped. We get the silence coming out. There's the Abyssal Blade from Noir jumping in onto WhiteMan. Will it be enough? The heal with the Infest is enough to keep WhiteMan alive for now. And you see the coil onto 2. The first to die is LOA. Buys back into the game, though. Doom applied to Yawar already, but all he can do is right-click and try to run away. It finally will end. He has his Sunder available. Might have to use it on a teammate if he's not careful here, but MSS in the meantime just getting beat down by 23 Savage. Silence applied to UR. Still can't get that Sunder off. He's getting very low. Finally does so. Now gets full HP as you see 23 Savage beating upon Quinn. With that open wound, just so much damage. Double kill for him. Now UR with the spider legs onto the low ground. Feels like he is just going to drop one way or the other. The initiation from WhiteMan. Just too much for Quincy Crew to handle. And this will be the 3rd rush for T1.
They're just getting outplayed in team fights. It might be a lineup thing. You can never really tell. But the high cooldown ultis just didn't do anything for Quincy Crew this game. They played a really solid early game, and they didn't really transition into anything. This game felt like.
And that was a pretty good silence there too, because you are definitely looking for the Blink Thunder.
Yeah, it was a bit weird because Witch Doctor walked up, and again, like, they go for the smoke play, but he had no sentries, so Lion just gets Glimmer Caped.
Look at this.
Enchantress isn't close enough.
He has Arcane Blink and 2 refreshers.
Oh, man.
That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. 23 Savage taking out that tier 4 successfully. We have the double buyback from Quincy Crew, but they know that there's no meta right now. There's not too much fear. Oh, okay. Coil again. Onto MSS, he's just going to heal through it. That might provide a little bit of space, but here comes Cuckoo with the Doom again. But there's the Stampede to try to counteract this. The Yules keeps him in place. And into the stun from the Lion. That means Quinn will take a tumble. 110 seconds, no buyback. And this looked for T1 in very good fashion for them. They looked extremely strong here.
Yeah, just really smooth gameplay. They understood that even though you're against terrible DP, like I thought that would be a bit scary to go into late game with, but it's like confidence in their players, and once the refreshers and Doom come out, like can't contest them in team fights.
Yeah, this was extremely well executed from Team. I was expecting 3 games based on how close their original series at the animated was, but T1 looks good right now. And I actually forget, they're still in the hotel, I'm guessing, right? They both are.
Yeah, both teams are.
Yeah, so
they're just tipping each other against each other and have little fisticuffs.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Quincy Crew's practice room is in the food room as well.
It is.
It's the same room.
So they can wait
definitely
for them.
will. Yeah, they can wait for them. They can't go anywhere, for sure. But yeah, this was a very convincing win for T1 as they continue on in the upper bracket. In case you were wondering, by the way, AUA, the top 3 taunts in the game. Number 3 was Tidehunter.
That's a good one.
I actually can't remember 1 and 2 which order it is,
then?
but it's Leshrac and Undying.
Okay.
Thank you. With that expert analysis, we will go to the panel where they will analyze something other than this.
But with the same level of expertise, one would hope. Yes, indeed, Quincy Crew are going to now fall to T1, but they're not eliminated. In fact, if they manage to stick around and